We just came through eclipse season, and what a perfect time to learn more about the moon. And you can't get a better resource than Stephen Forrest's Book of the Moon, available on audiobook narrated by me. A direct link is available on the homepage of hightimelinebooks.com, or you can go to Audible or Apple Books. Welcome in to the Fun Astrology Podcast for Monday, October 14th. Thomas Miller, thanks for joining us. Yes, I got a little bit under the weather last week, still is a little scratchy this morning. And with traveling, it was just a little hard to record. I didn't feel that great, so I thought I'm going to just take the time off. Well, of course, the hurricane hit right in the middle of all of that. Hurricane number 2. Then Ray said that he wasn't doing his report for this weekend, so I just thought, well, I'm going to take it all off, and we'll be back on Monday. And one question people could ask is, well, what's in the sky that is precipitating all of this stuff, these 2 hurricanes, all of the challenges that we have right now, the division in the country, etc.? Well, everybody, including Ray back in last fall when he wrote the 2024 forecast book, predicted all of this. It's been in the charts. I mean, these are challenging months that we are in right now. We're in the midst of it. Let's go back even further than that. Robert Glasscock, when I first met him, was through a solar arc class that he did through Kepler College. And he mentioned this period right here that we are in right now. This was back in late 2017 that he mentioned many of the things now, 6 years later, that are in today's headlines, including the very challenges that we have to freedom itself. Much of that comes from solar arc astrology, not just what we do here, but these are very significant, mega significant aspects that we are under right now. Walk it all back to the pivotal year of 2020. That's when in January, Saturn and Pluto conjoined. In December, Saturn and Jupiter conjoined. Saturn, Pluto in January, that triggered the Pluto 250-year cycle. And then the December aspect with Jupiter triggered a 20-year cycle. I would say 90-something% of the population does not understand what that big macro picture is for planet Earth. Old power structures do not fade away easily, do they? Well, let's talk about this week ahead, because this is part of the tapestry. And we have some significant aspects. First of all, here's Kristin with this week's Lucky Stars. Good morning, Kristin.
Hi, Thomas and Fun Astrology Podcast family. Happy Monday. This week starts off more challenging, but by Friday, Saturday, we are looking at 2 lucky days, especially if you have a placement in the late degrees of Libra. There is a beautiful yod to the sun to take advantage of. If you want to find out more lucky days or a reason for delineation on the days, join the Lucky Stars Club. We can't wait to see you there. I hope you all have a lucky week.
And you too. Thanks, Kristin. Now, the aspects for this week, kicking things off, the sun is in a square to Mars early this morning, 4:15 Eastern Time. And that's obviously a big one, the sun in Libra and Mars in Cancer at 21 degrees. Whenever you have the sun either square or opposite Mars, obviously you have extra tension. And that was building last week during the hurricane. I'm not saying that that's what caused it, but certainly there is some challenge in the air. The other one that I find interesting is what happens with the moon. Now, you know, we have a full moon on Thursday morning. Elisa Dixon's going to come in on Wednesday and talk about that. But the lunar aspects this week are interesting. So first of all, this afternoon, here, let's just walk through some of this. The moon today conjoins Saturn, a little after 2 p.m. this afternoon. The moon is in Pisces. It hits Saturn exact, all right? Then tomorrow morning at 2:37 a.m., so like 12 hours later, it squares Jupiter. Jupiter, of course, in Gemini. So there's the moon from watery Pisces squaring airy Jupiter in its detriment sign of Gemini, because Jupiter rules the opposite sign. So Jupiter not happy as much in Gemini. The ultimate fastest moving body that we have up there, the moon, squares Jupiter. There's another trigger. And to add some fuel to that, tomorrow morning, about an hour later, the moon is in a trine to Mars. And the big day is Thursday, and of course, that's the full moon at 7:25 in the morning Eastern. But just a couple of hours before that, it squares Mars on Thursday. The middle of the afternoon, it squares Pluto. And then one more wave goodbye on the week. To Sunday afternoon, the moon squares Saturn again. I mean, and in between that, obviously, are aspects to Uranus and Pluto and Neptune and etc. It's all very much a part of the tapestry of the moon doing its thing. But it's just interesting how it falls in light of this week's energy, and especially the full moon. We know that full moons can bring out the cray-cray in people. I hope I get this fixed by Thursday, because Wile E. Coyote is just not going to sound right. Hopefully we have enough time. All right, let's put a positive spin on this and wrap this up for today. First of all, one change that has happened since last week is Pluto is now direct. Saturn will be direct in about a month. I don't know what it says that the two planets who are going to first leave their retrograde are the two malefics from Hellenistic astrology, but we can't change the sky, can we? We do have another one this week that's going to help. On Thursday afternoon, Venus, one of the Hellenistic benefics, is going to enter Sagittarius. So that's going to be a definite positive. It is a minor adjustment because we still have 4 outer planets in retrograde: Jupiter, Saturn, Uranus, Neptune. But the big macro theme is to slow down, to get inside. So many of us have faced this. I mean, look, I've had to slow down. Our friends in North Carolina, so many people in Florida have just had stuff happen, and they've had to stop and deal with it. The velocity forward is just slowed down right now. We don't do well with that in Western society. Our whole culture is programmed, go, go, go. Well, the sky right now is saying otherwise, and that's not going to change. So one of the things that we can lock onto is this Venus change on Thursday. There is a lot of power around this full moon, and we know that full moons can bring out the crazy. But Thursday's full moon is in Aries, power, aspected to Mars, and Pluto, power. Watch for the expression on both sides of that, obviously. And then the one thing we still have, and we will for a little while longer, is Neptune at home in Pisces, Saturn also in there in Pisces. And until they both leave, we do have that extra special perception, that connection of intuition that was only available with Neptune at home. And so with that, I would say the biggest message through this whole time is stay close to source. And I did want to leave with one other thing, because so many people have been affected by things. And I think this is where our spirituality can come out for those of us who have not been affected by the various weather events. We can give. If we can't be there, at least we can help provide some things. I have really been impressed with an organization called the Cajun Navy. They were on the ground in North Carolina the day after the storms stopped. And I've been watching them, and they have just been continually right there where all the action was and where it needed to happen. So that's one. And then I found a little local pop-up there in Maggie Valley, and I knew of the people. So I sent some money there because I knew it would be 100% used on getting things to people. But a bigger organization that is on multiple fronts, I've just really been impressed with Cajun Navy. They just seem to be, wow, tremendous servants. All right, that gets us set up for the week. Sorry about running a little bit long. I'm going to rest my voice, and I'll see you back tomorrow. Have a great day, everybody. Thanks for listening. Bye-bye.